Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It is our migraine strategy call day. Just double checking to make sure that Facebook is caught up with us and that we are live and good to go before we start our amazing interview today. It looks like we are. Perfect. So for those of you who don't know me, since we've had so many women join this week, my name is Debbie Waidl. I'm a certified functional health coach, here to support you to find your migraine freedom without having to rely on medications that are really just covering up the problem and not getting to the root cause. We love coming to you every Tuesday with trainings, with interviews, with special guests. And today we have Kathy joining us. Kathy is a graduate of the Freedom From Migraine Method and now actually supports us in the Valley Health Coaching. She is one of our community coordinators, so you've probably seen her in the group. So Kathy, thank you for being here today to share your story.
I'm very excited to share my story.
Amazing. Well, just a little bit about Kathy so everyone knows before we get started. She's married to her husband, Brian. They've been together for the past 31 years. They own and operate a dairy farm and a vegetable and fruit market garden, which we sell at our roadside farm stand, which, all right, right there, I'm exhausted with all that work. Kathy loves to garden. She loves spending time with her family, doing renovation projects in her home. And, as a side hobby in your free time, you refinish pieces of furniture for resale. Let me just ask you, how do you possibly have any free time?
In the winter, a couple months in the winter.
Okay. I was going to say, there is no way that you have free time during the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Kathy said migraine since her late 30s and early 40s. And you told me that you can still remember to this day your first migraine. Your body has been in a constant state of waking up at 2 a.m. most mornings with mind-blowing pain and not being able to function until closer to noon each day, only to start this process over and over almost 7 days a week. I'm sure there's so many women here right now. Let me know if you're watching, if that's something that you can resonate with. I know there's some women in the group that have 1 or 2 migraines a month, and then there's others like us that, had daily pain. I had daily pain for 10 years. Doesn't matter whether you have 1 or 7, you don't need to have them anymore. So Kathy, thank you again for being here to share your journey and your story. So why don't we start with just a really quick background of, give me a little bit more detail there. You've had these for so long. What was it like having migraines? Kind of tell me your story.
It was pretty horrible. As you said, I was just thinking today again, that first time I had a migraine, I didn't even know what a migraine was. I just knew it was a headache I had never had in my life before. And I kept having them over and over. First, it would be, every couple of weeks I would have one. And then it started in on the every day thing. It was like, okay, I have this job I have to do, which is for me a huge morning job for 10 months out of the year. And I would somehow go out and function in all that pain. And I don't know how I did it, honestly.
And that's so many of us, right? I talk to hundreds of women a month, and all I constantly hear is, you have to push through. I don't quite know how I do it, but you have to. But at the end of the day, you're not living your day. You're just pushing through each and every day, basically, right, to get back to bed, right? Or to get to the ice, right, or the heat or whatever it is you use. So what kind of things did you try over the years? If you were pushing through that much, you must have tried almost everything to try to stop your pain.
So I use lots of Tylenol, lots of Excedrin, lots of ibuprofen. Honestly, I didn't know about heat. I used ice. I didn't know about ice. I used heat packs.
Okay.
When I finally figured out maybe these are migraines, I went to my GP and I said, can't you give me something? And he said, no, all you can have is Tylenol. And it wasn't until maybe 5 years later that he gave me my first prescription of Maxalt.
Wow.
And at that point. I hate taking medicine. I would take it when I was so desperate. There was
Mhm.
nothing else I could do, and used it very sparingly. Due to a lot of other health problems, it wasn't until maybe 6 or 7 months ago, I found myself in the office of a migraine neurologist who offered the magic cure of Emgality. And I thought, okay, this is going to be the answer.
Yeah.
You know, I've come all this way and through all this stuff, and this is going to be the answer. And the very first injection I took, I had massive reactions to it and should have gone to the ER and didn't, because it was New Year's Eve.
Oh, geez.
And I spent 5 days having what I could call as panic attacks and all kinds of things that got in my system. And I decided right then, no more. And it was just from then until I met with you the middle of February that I said, okay, there has to be another way. And that's why I was so quick.
You were.
Say,
Kathy, in full disclosure, joined very quickly. I think we got on the call and she'd already decided that she was going to join before we even spoke, I feel like. But I just want to go back to the medication piece for a minute. You tried so many things on your own and then finally hit that point where the doctor's like, all right, we got to try the Emgality. And I think for so many women, they're waiting for that magic medication, that it's got to come, or they're going to make it, or, if I just can hold out one more year, there's going to be something new. And while medication surely sometimes, not in your case, but surely sometimes can help kind of dull that pain or, knock that pain down, it's only a temporary thing. It is not ending the pain. And I am definitely so sorry that you had to go through the pain, but in the same token, I'm almost glad that you did, so that it made you not stop. It made you keep moving forward to try to figure out why you were having it so you could fix it. Because I think so many women find that magic thing, like the Max Salt that at least will dull it, or the, Imitrex they'll have the hangover the next day, but at least they don't feel horrible, but it's still not living. It's still not living the way that you need to. So you joined the Freedom From Migraine Method, which is one of the ways that we work with our private clients. And I'm sure you weren't quite sure what to expect, but what was it on the phone call besides the fact that you were just done? Was there a different approach that we talked about that you were like, oh, maybe this is something different, or maybe this is something I haven't tried?
For me, it was the no medication approach. I have lived my whole life eating super healthy and, staying away from all of that as a personal choice. And to know there was something more I could do that would give me migraine freedom. And honestly, I thought, okay, I eat so cleanly and I'm doing everything so great right now. There's nothing much that she's going to do to change. So maybe this will work and maybe it won't, but I'm giving it a try.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I remember you telling me that, like, I don't really know if this is going to help me, but I've got nothing else to try. So we got to give it a shot. And even your husband was, behind that as well. How was it for him? We don't talk about the husbands very much, but what was his life because of this?
Migraines affect everybody in your family. And when you have my husband and I are marriage partners, but we're also business partners. And that spills over to everything. And it's very painful when you love somebody to see them in any type of pain, but to see that every day. He has felt so helpless.
Yeah.
Just so incredibly helpless to know what to do to help me.
And he's really been there as your cheerleader. And almost, for lack of a better word, almost like your nurse some nights, being there to get you what you need and doing what you need. And which obviously that's what partners do. But when you think about your business and the hours that you guys have to keep and how you have to get up so early in the morning, because that's your livelihood. I can't imagine both of you being up at 2 a.m, because if you're in pain, then he's in pain and he's up helping you. So now neither one of you are getting a good night's sleep and you've got to go out and take and make sure that you do your job, because otherwise you don't have a roof over your head anymore.
Right. And that is very true. There, I cannot tell you the nights he would get up and get the shower going and get me in the shower, because I couldn't even do that.
What does he say now?
He's pretty happy. He's pretty happy. He sees a huge difference, and he often says, "Well, you really don't have migraines like you did." And I do have occasional migraines, but they're so low level most of the time. I don't even take a Tylenol.
I love it. I love it. Now
And
I've
I
been
have
watching,
tools.
yeah, you have tools and you have things you're doing. And I was just going to mention one of those. I noticed, because I follow you on Facebook as well. I noticed on Facebook that you do something on Fridays now. What are you doing on Fridays for you, and why did you decide to
Oh,
start doing
yeah.
that?
I made this commitment to go to the beach every Friday. We have a beach that is a mile from our house, and I hardly ever go there because I'm always working. And I realized through this program that taking time for myself, to
Mhm.
just have quiet time, to recoup, to feed energy back into my life so that I have it to give to others is so important. And that is one thing I've chosen to do that.
Yeah. And I think as women that have suffered with migraines during the time that you're suffering, that's the last thing we think about doing, because we don't
Mhm.
have enough time, right? You know, I mean, I'm thinking of you like in the farm, like, okay, you're up from 2 to whatever having migraines. You try to work all day with a migraine and you come home and you pretty much have to go to bed because you have a migraine. So you don't give any time to you because you don't have any time. You have no
Right.
time left. But the
And you're
important
busy
thing,
doing,
yeah,
you're busy doing all the things you didn't do
exactly.
during the time you were sick.
Exact, that laundry list of literally, like, I haven't done laundry. I haven't gone grocery shopping. I haven't paid the bills, you know, and none of those things are, let's face it. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody watching. If there's someone watching who likes doing laundry and bills, let me know. But most of these things aren't fun, you know, so when you start feeling better, you have to do the non-fun things, and you don't think about the fun things, but those fuel our soul almost more than healthy food.
Mhm.
You know, because as you mentioned, that I didn't want to forget to go back to, you were eating healthy before you joined. You do live on a farm. You do own a
Mhm.
farm. You're eating good food. And you came to me, and most women will come to me and say, just fix my food. Fix my food and I'll be great. It's not the case. Yes,
Mhm.
there may be some women we have to fix food. We have to look at food, you know, where you're eating processed food, sugars, inflammatory foods that aren't good for you, foods that you're intolerant to or allergic to. Of course, we look at that, but that's only a piece. That's only a piece.
Mhm.
If that were the main piece, then Kathy wouldn't be here today with a different story. So you had 25 migraines a month. I know you just kind of hinted to it a second ago, but where are you at now with your migraines?
I might have one every 2 weeks, and it might be a number 2 or 3 on the pain scale, and it's short lasting.
Yeah, compared to the 25. And I know you also did already mention this. You have some other health conditions on top of it, you know, on top of migraines.
Yeah,
So to try to manage all of those things and still be able to find some freedom and the strength to give you to work on, you know, the rest of your health. It's kind of a big deal for you, kind of a big deal.
And what is amazing are my other health things all predispose me to migraines, and they're migraine causing things.
Mhm.
And to get the battle won over that, it's totally amazing. And yeah.
I know I say this all the time, but I wish I could take a snapshot of the first time I met you, Kathy, and then take a snapshot of today and put them side by side. I should really start asking permission and just do that. Take a little photo on my computer, because your face, even though you're not 100% migraine free, you have migraine freedom. You are not being tied down 25 days a month anymore. As you said, they're shorter. You're barely taking a Tylenol. And typically you tell me when you get that migraine, you're like, I know what I did. I know what happened.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
you know,
freedom,
sometimes
right?
healing takes more than 16 weeks. Sometimes it's a
Absolutely.
lifetime of changes for yourself and taking care of yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kathy's referring to 16 weeks because the program, the Freedom From Migraine Method that she did is a 16-week program. And within 16 weeks, we're able to give you the tools that you need to continue on your healing journey. Now, some people are migraine free in 2 weeks. I will 100% be 100% clear with you. Those are my rare unicorns. They're amazing, but they're the rare unicorn that can be migraine free in 2 weeks into a program. If you want to see the interview, it's Karen's interview. It's in the guide section. She literally had migraines for 40 years every single day.
Wow.
2 weeks, she's good. The average is 4 months to feeling good. But then let's go to the other spectrum where there are some people, and we can disclose this because it's Barbie who works for us. It took her over a year. It took her over a year to become migraine free because we had small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. She's had cancer in the past. We had other health conditions. So every single body is different and unique and needs a different length of healing. But I always like to think about, how long did it take you to get to that point? How long did it take you to get to the point where you were causing daily migraines or having daily migraines due to health conditions? It was probably years and decades in some. So if it's decades, we cannot expect our bodies realistically to turn around in 4 months, but we can expect a huge change, which I think is what we show.
I saw a huge change in 2 weeks.
I love it. And that's what we like, those small wins. We talk about severity, duration, and frequency whenever we talk about migraines. And those are the 3 things that we are trying to work on, bringing you back down to a place of normalcy. Kathy, you got a bunch of people on. You've got Melissa on, you've got Karen, you've got Pam, Kimberly's watching, Sonia's watching, Valentina's watching. We have lots of Kims. We have quite a few Kims watching today. So hello to everyone. Thank you for tuning in to see Kathy. So let me know below if you have any questions, or anything that you'd like to ask Kathy as we finish up our interview here. So Kathy, when I talk to a lot of people with migraines, it's a massive struggle. You can hit a point in time where you're like, why? I don't get this. Why am I being stuck with this on a daily basis? Why is it me? Why do I have to live this way? What made you keep going, and why didn't you want to quit? Why didn't you want to just give up and not keep working on finding an answer?
I knew there had to be a better way. And I knew that I just kept saying to my husband, it's not right that I should have to live in this much pain all the time. And there has to be a better answer. And I don't think the answer lies in taking a pill all the time, because all it's doing is masking what's still there, and it's not taking away.
Yeah.
What's there. But what's really hard when you're that desperate, you start searching for a lot of things. And until I found you, I never even remotely came across on the internet anything even close to what this program offers.
Yeah. What kind of things did you come across? I'm sure it's the same as everybody else.
Yeah, there are tons of groups of people who live with daily migraines, and I'm part of some of those groups, but it was all medicine based.
Mm-hmm.
There was something about women's migraine freedom when I found that talked about a natural non-medication approach.
Mm-hmm.
I was in at that point. I remember when you contacted me, it was like, well, I don't even know who this lady is and what this is all about, but I'm doing this interview with her, and I'm, whatever she says, I'm doing it. I don't care how much it costs, because I'm at the very bottom, and there's no place to go but up.
And it is a big leap of faith. Let's face it. I know I've said this many times over. You're meeting me on Facebook. I get it. That's where you're meeting me. You've never seen me before, but that's why I love doing these interviews like with you today, Kathy, so that other people can see that I am a real person, that it did happen, and that you are a real person who's gone through this experience and gone through the healing. So it's not just me giving my word saying, really, I can help most women. I can't help everyone. I readily admit it. There are women that I have helped find other people based on their situations to be able to help them. Doesn't happen very often, because I'm always up for a good challenge and we usually get to the bottom of what we need to, but I am realistic. There are some people that just based on their health conditions, they need additional support, but yeah, it is important, I think, to see these interviews, to know that there is hope. And we're so glad that you took that leap of faith and gave yourself that opportunity, because those other groups do really focus on managing pain, not ending pain.
Mhm.
And we actually have quite a few people that join our group and then leave very quickly, unsubscribe from our group or whatever you want to say, because that's what they're looking for. And that's okay. They're not ready yet. And that's absolutely okay. But the people that we have here are women that want to actually just use the medication until they can figure out the root and then work their way off of it. I still have Advil in my closet, folks. If I need it, I'm going to take it. But that's not my first thing that I'm going to try. It's not the second thing I'm going to try. It's just there in case it's needed. And that's okay. But I don't have to do Imitrex and Maxell and Emgality and all the other things anymore. So, Kathy, if you were to give everyone out there words of wisdom, something that you really want everyone that's suffering with migraines to know, what would that be?
I really truly think there's a way out of that life and out of having to live with all that pain. And I think that probably anyone who's suffering with multiple migraines is more ready to make changes than what they think they are, and that it's possible to do that. This program offers an unsurmountable amount of support and caring, and it's so step by step laid out that if you aren't a type A like me and want to do all the steps at once, and you go through this program methodically and commit to it, any amount of whatever you think is going to be hard for you to do is really not going to be hard when you trade all that to wake up in the morning and be able to go to your grandchild's birthday party, or to be able to go out for dinner with friends, or to go to a movie, or to go on a trip, and to actually be able to make plans instead of cancel every plan you ever made, which is what I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's key. Kind of what you said in there is really, we have to be ready, right? If you're somebody who has had migraines long enough or has them, severe enough, you're willing to make those lifestyle changes, and you're willing to make those dietary changes or whatever it is to get to the root cause and let your body heal. And some of those changes that you've made, Kathy, you've probably made them for life. And there might be others that eventually maybe you can finagle a little bit here or there. For example, I have a glass of wine on the weekend. I can do that. 10 years ago, no way in heck. Would have been bad for the weekend. It would have been, well, that was the dumbest thing I ever did, but as our body heals, we can do a little bit more of that. So I think people do get scared, like, oh, I don't want to join that program because I don't want to give up sugar, and I don't want to have to exercise 8 hours a week, and I don't want to have to, I don't know, meditate 4 hours a day. But I'm sure Kathy can attest that when we work with women, we do our best to make sure that we are supporting them in a way that's going to work with their lifestyle, that they can manage, and that's based to fit for them, because every single person's different. If I told Kathy every single day that you literally have to eat breakfast at, 5 o'clock in the morning, that might not work for her because it doesn't fit the farm schedule, right? Where if we say, okay, here's your schedule, let's figure out what works for you, and let's make sure that it's food you can get from your farm, so you don't have to go buy a ton of food. And, this is where we can help tailor something that's going to fit for you, versus a lot of the other Facebook groups that, Kathy mentioned, where you go on and you're actually getting advice from other members, not from the people in charge of the group. You don't want to take advice from Susie Q that has migraines just like you, because guess what? She's still having migraines. So it's great to support each other in the group, but you need somebody who knows what's going on. We're a team of 9 at this point in time. Actually, I think we're a team of 10. I lie. I think we have a team of 10 now, 10 women that help support all of you that have migraines, Kathy being a part of that. Let me know in the comments if you have any last minute questions, because we're going to wrap up here. Everyone's saying, you go, Kathy. So happy for you, Kathy. Kathy, you're an inspiration. A lot of hellos, a lot of hearts. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And I really do appreciate the words of wisdom, Kathy, that you share with everyone. While I'm giving them 2 seconds to get their last questions in there, I just want to say that it is a process. You know, as Kathy mentioned, it is a process, and it is something that, yes, will always be in the back of her mind, will always be there, that, you know, we need to use the tools, we need to stay below the threshold. But each and every day, Kathy, does it seem like it's a little bit more like riding a bike, and where migraines aren't your front and center focus anymore?
Yeah, actually, it really does. And I was going to say that any changes I made were not even really a sacrifice for me, given the massive amount of pain that I was in.
I love that.
I just don't, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
So nobody should ever let that scare, don't get scared off by that, because that part is so easy.
It really is at the end of the day. And we can support anybody who is like, you know, change is hard for me, I can't make change. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to help you with. And the group of 50, 60 amazing other women that we're working with privately, you know, they're there to support you. Because I'm sure you've done it a few times, Kathy. You've put a post in our private group and said, today's a struggle day. And within what, 15 minutes, you have at least 5 answers, or 5 women that are jumping in there to say, I'm here for you. What do you need? How can we help you? How can we support you? Because migraines can be a lonely business. Yes, your husband's amazing, you know, but he doesn't know. He doesn't 100% know.
He doesn't. There is no judgment in this program.
Absolutely.
You will learn to love yourself and to put yourself first in a healthy way, so that you can put others, give time to others and other things that are important to you.
Yeah, like your grandkids.
Yeah.
Your grandkids, your kids, your husband again. It really is amazing. I try to make sure that I'm friends with everyone on Facebook who's in the program, because I love watching the Facebook feed change. I love watching all the things that you're doing as the program goes on, and, you know, reminding you when you say, oh, I have a migraine, it's not moving forward. I'm like, do you remember all the things you did last week that you haven't been able to do in a long time? This was a little blip. This was a little roller coaster blip, and we're going to move past that. So amazing. All right. Well, I want to honor your time and everyone else's time, Kathy. So any last thing out of anything that you want to share with everyone before I let you go?
Just do it. Don't, if you're sitting on the fence, just do it. You will not regret it.
Amazing. Well, again, thank you for your time today. Thank you for everyone that is watching today. We really appreciate, we know again that you don't have a lot of time because migraines is eating it up. So think about this. Spend an hour with us on a phone call. Let's see if we can help you. If we can't, we'll let you know, and that hour isn't going to be lost, because we're still going to give you some tips, and we're still going to move you off in a direction with someone who can help you. But take that hour for you and get back the months that you're losing, the months that you end up losing to migraines. If you have 3 migraines a month, or 3 migraines in a month, you are literally losing a month of your life every year. Every year. The migraine hangover, the pain before, the pain during. Don't do it anymore. It's not worth it. Life is too short. We all know that. We all know life is short. So thank you for being here today, Kathy. Thank you again so much. Everyone, let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, post them below. You can tag myself, tag Kathy, and here's to your migraine-free day, everybody. Take care.